Okay, we're going to do a tour of the Applegate Stables Pairs Derby course that I remodified because part of the footing's still wet. So this will actually be the first jump, but I need to rebuild it because the ATVs decided to destroy it. So it'll be a little bit higher than that, but not much. And probably have a different rail. But from there, so we're going to come towards us. And when we head out to the field, we have escorts. That's Vega the Doberman and Charlie the mutt. And Beanie, our ride. Okay. So we're going to jump our little rock wall. And then we're going to come to the first log. We're on a little bit of a downward slope to it. But basically right at it, it flattens out. So you're not jumping downhill. So that's the first one. Pretty small. And then you can canter or trot, whichever, up to the next line. I've made it all pretty simple, very basic, very inviting for green horses and nervous riders. I won't jump it, I don't expect you to, and I'm a chicken. So this is our next fence. I have to pull this one out and bush hog around it still. But again, very small and inviting. A little wide, but nothing terrible. And then you come up to this, to a very slight incline. Nice and wide jump, so if you and your partner are kind of at the same point, you can actually go over it together. Most of them are wide enough for you both to go over together anyways. But again, about the same size. Nice solid log. Good landing. And we continue on up to here. Nice little canter uphill. When I tried being out on the course just now, she trotted most of it, but when she came to here, she picked up a nice canter. She just have to kind of nicely fall into it. There's a nice slight incline, but nothing that will really change the effect of the jump. So we come to this one. Again, it's about the same size as the others. Not huge. It's about a foot wide. Maybe a little more. Then we come up here. Again, you can do a nice little canter or trot, whichever you're more comfortable with. Come up here. Kind of regain our stride, bring ourselves back a little bit if we're getting a little wild, because we're going to come into a turn. Our little boulder wall to keep our annoying ATV friends out. But still like to pull the boulders out and come through anyways, but you know, what can you do? Except charge them when I catch them. Anyways, now I just rode this and I cut the corner. And you shouldn't. Just ride it as probably as wide and get them nice and collected, because this does come up a little fast and you're going slightly downhill. Not too bad, but just a little bit. Jump's about the same size as the other ones so far. Ride's nice though. Charlie says she's not jumping it. Charlie's not very big, so don't be afraid because that jump's a bit taller than her. She's a bit of a midget. She looks bigger than she is. So you come down here, you gather your bearings up a little bit. Bring your horse back, because you got to, not only are we rolling down a hill a little tiny bit, but we're also coming to a turn. So we're going to go around to a very simple little log. Although admittedly Bean wanted to make that one the biggest one for whatever reason. But it's nice and little. That one will have a support at the one end. But otherwise I think I'm leaving the jumps fairly basic for now. I was going to decorate them, but I want to make this as inviting for the nervous ones as possible. Eventually we'll incorporate over here, because there's a bunch of little jumps and stuff over here. We can go through the water, but for now we're skipping that. It's too wet over there. So next we come up to our next jump. It's a nice hand gallop up to it, a slight incline, which is nice. It kind of sets them back a little bit. Jump that one. And you have a nice, bring them back, but nice forward canter. This area rode really nicely. We kind of got our stuff together, and this was probably the nicest part of the course to ride. Now, granted, Beanie and I haven't jumped in probably over a year. So the fact that we survived it should say enough. Anyways, this one's probably, again, one of the smaller of the jumps. It's not quite as big or as wide. We will be flipping it over, though, to get rid of that notch. So it might be a little bit higher just because of how I have to flip it. Now we're coming up to our third last jump. This one you'll want to kind of set them back a little tiny bit, just because you're going to land, and within a couple strides you need to turn. So you want to have them in your hand before you get to the jump. About the same size as the other ones. Again, we cut off some notches, but that's okay, we've got lots of time for that. And then this one, you're actually going to take the track, I think, to the right and go up the two logs that are up an incline, but they're also smaller, probably the smallest logs we have. I'm half tempted to put an option over there, but I haven't decided yet. So far we're just going to ride the main course. And you pop over this, up a hill, really give them leg, get them going to the last jump. This one's at the very top of the hill. At this point your horse might be a little tired, so lots of leg. Pop over this last little jump that then flattens out but kind of drops. And then bring them up. And that's it. The little rock wall will be much cuter when it's not demolished. That's that, and cutting off the knobs of some of the jumps is the kind of the priority here. Over here, I was going to have it over here too, but it's too wet. And I don't know that it'll dry in time. So we'll just stick to this for now. And if all goes well, then next time we decide to do it, we'll add a little bit more. And maybe some bushy stuff around it or something to make them a little bit more spookier, if you want to call it that. Charles says she's tired, so is Beanie. Anyways, that's the course.